Lloyd, thanks for getting together today to review PLP's unique positioning within the financial services space.
Good morning, Anthony, and thanks for spending some time with us today. PLP Group has a service footprint today across Africa, in the United States, the UK, Europe, Australasia and the Middle East. So we effectively can provide services to our client base in most major territories and on most continents.
And what is it that's particularly unique about the offering specific to financial services?
PLP is a diversified services group. We're a 22, 23-year-old business that started providing services predominantly in South Africa. And in fact, our first client was an insurance customer. Yeah, so we cut our teeth in that business, and our services started out in what most industries would understand as loyalty. Today, we prefer to refer to ourselves as a dependency management business, and our role is really to enhance the brand of our customers, but more importantly, to bridge the relationship between them and their clients, such that in putting our products and services into place, Anthony, their customers become dependent on their brand.
Well, certainly formidable in a world in which today's core product is not tomorrow's core product. I think we all share that belief and philosophy.
Actually doesn't matter today what industry that you're in, whether you're in banking, whether you're in insurance, financial services or telephony. All of these products have become commoditized. And the race has actually been how to get the product into the hands of the customer more cost effectively so that one can reduce the price.
Well, on that note, let's roll up our sleeves and get into the nitty-gritty of how a PLP program works, because to me it sounds like the perfect hybrid combination of Angie's List, Travelocity, Groupon, throw in Siri and Google with a live operator pretty much.
Yep. The one thing that those companies don't and can't do for you is negotiate. So whilst I self-serve and they're phenomenal digital tools, they can't negotiate for me or deal with me personally in respect to really understanding my need. So if you combine all of those capabilities and those technologies and those immediate provisions for service, and then add the live operator, but add an operator that can then understand engagement, has good communication skill and knows how to provide that service to you, that really is what the PLP service becomes, but in the brand of the customer.
Well, practically speaking, talk us through a couple of typical interactions between a client's brand and your logistical team.
The job is to transition the relationship between the customer and the brand from the core product to everything else that's happening in my life. And it is a journey, Anthony. It doesn't happen overnight. There is a transition involved. But once we get the client on that journey, all sorts of things start to happen. And what we've found is it's actually the journey is one of trust. So we transition the relationship between the client and the brand from one of core product to core product and everything else. Now there's some amazing things that come out of that. Just imagine today if you're that insurance company or that bank or that telco, and you all of a sudden have information about your customers' purchase behaviour, their lifestyle, their preferences, their aspirations, where they spend their money. Once you start to understand those motivations, it enables you to do two things. First thing, it enables you to continue to put meaningful and valuable, real life today products and services in front of those customers, things that I want to do today or I need to do today. So your brand becomes the solution provider. The second thing, and the more strategic and more important thing, is this. It enables you to sit back and look at what's our product offer? How do we marry the future core product that we've got, or how do we change that product, or how do we bring new product to market that's relevant to what's going on in my customers' lives? So if you look at how the market has transitioned and how customer expectation has changed, what the corporate group haven't kept pace with is how do they keep that engagement? Because they've had to remain focused on core product. They've done so in very difficult economic circumstances, and technology's got ahead of them. It's really an opportunity, Anthony, if the tool is used correctly, to put a totally different dynamic on a customer engagement and present a policy from a point of view of what it's going to do in my life, how it adds value to everything I'm doing. All I have to do is call one number. So my relationship opportunities change with that customer if I'm the broker and if I'm the manager of the relationship. because I now have a whole lot of other information I never had before, and it's powerful because it's relevant to my customer.
Okay, Lloyd, so let's play this out. I'm a CEO or president of a life insurance company in the United States looking for an edge in the marketplace. From boardroom showcase of 2 hours where I invite you in to share with my leadership team the PLP concept, to full utilization and dependency. What does that journey look like over a 1 year period, for example?
Okay, well I think the first thing, Anthony, is to understand the aspirations of the corporate client. The second is to understand his audience, and so that we marry a product solution relevant to that audience. I think once that is understood, part of our role is then to coach the corporate in terms of what can be delivered and what outcomes we will get from that audience. So an implementation generally takes, Anthony, somewhere from 4 to 8 weeks. Within the framework of that, we look at the brand, we look at the communication and the engagement for the customer. We typically handle all of those on behalf of the client. So we build a product solution and a brand solution relevant to the audience, and then we look at the business model. So the product, the audience, the marketing, the communication, the operational information and the business models all form part of what you're talking about as a 2-hour board session. Typically from initial engagement through to operational in the marketplace, we tend to look at 6 to 12 weeks is a reasonable time frame. And then we look at the most important factor in all of this is then the customer utilisation. So how do we make Anthony Morris aware that as a customer of the insurance company, he can access the services? Then secondly, how do we start to get him to use those services?
So I get to take my lifestyle manager with me if I'm going to a trip to London, need a driver to pick me up at Heathrow, want a specific restaurant booked. So you're my virtual lifestyle manager that travels around the world with me, perhaps driven by mobile telephony, the web interface, way beyond just some of these so-called value adds that have become commodities.
Sure, and it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. And Anthony, if we looked at a real life event, if you happen to go to London, lost your passport, we're the guys you're going to ring. Need a booking, want a restaurant, need some business information, we're the guys you're going to ring. And by the way, whilst you are in London, if something does happen in the house, then the service is accessible to wife and children as well. So it's that broad, such that whilst you're travelling, we're always with you. We're with you with family, and we make the difference in the life, but it's in the brand of the client.
Certainly a formidable offering. Sign me up. I'm ready to go.
Anthony, great talking to you today.
You
Thanks
too.
so much for coming
Thank
through.
you very much for your time.
All the best.